What's going on, everybody? As you can probably hear, the cicadas are going crazy. All this ambient noises on your face, just like, oh. Guess what? The chickens are dead. They're kaput. They're finished. They're gone. That's why I haven't uploaded in a while. The chickens, they're in freezers and in various stomachs. It went really well. A couple things that I'm definitely changing for next time. First of all, this whole system is having water bottles on legs, constantly taking them in and out, constantly worrying about them tipping over. Super inefficient. I have to somehow redesign the tractors so I can hang these water containers from the ceiling and that way ensure that it's always even. I noticed that it's definitely important to make sure the chickens are not overcrowded in the pens, because you get that ratio slightly off and there's one chicken too many in the pens, they just don't grow as fast. They are a little stressed out. So the more room they have, the better. I gotta give this piece of bread with the pill hiding inside to the dog, because the dog needs pills now because it got operation. Look at you all shaved and fresh and new. How do you feel? You cleaned up. You look like a plucked chicken. You know what? The most tricky part is the slaughtering process. It really requires good planning. You really need a good team to get slaughtering done well. So my family's a pretty good team, so it worked out pretty well, but there can be ways to make it more efficient. So I'm gonna have to think about what I would invest in to streamline the slaughtering process. Probably invest in more death cones. So in a more professional model, you really have everything lined up. It's kind of just one runway that you go from the death cone straight to the water, straight to the defeatherer, straight to the table. If I increase the amount of chickens I raise, I'll have to invest in a couple more things. Bigger water pot, bigger defeatherers. The dunking for the chicken can be done a lot more efficiently. You can get more birds dunked and then defeathered and on the table at the same time. But yeah, the system works really well. It's pretty minimal labor if you can make it efficient. What I was doing, especially with the water buckets, super inefficient. Also, placement of the tractors is very important in my case because of the shape of the property. The tractors were all over the place and it was like playing whack-a-mole over here. Just like, I'm gonna figure out a way just to have them all lined in a row, moving down the same large track. That's really the most efficient way to do it, which is what I will pursue. The Lord willing, next time it all goes down. Okay, so part of the reason why it's possible that the space on this property may be shrinking for chicken tractoring is because I have this really cool water conservation project that I'm kind of designing. As I speak here with you today, or whatever time of the diurnal course you're watching this, could be night for you, could be night here. Just we have a very prolonged bout of lightning. Okay, so. Hoo-yah! Sweet. Oh, I kind of pulled my groin. Ow. All right, check this out. Here we go. So, here's what's going on. I just mowed out the shape of a rain garden. Can you see the shape I mowed out? Kind of an oval shape. Yeah? This would be a rain garden, like I showed you in the back. Dig this out, plant in it, and then fill it with wood chips. We would collect rain from all this huge, enormous roof here and bring it down into a drain that would drain into this rain garden. And then when this rain garden fills, it would overspill down this spillway here that spills, voila, into another rain garden. When this one fills up, it spills again down a spillway just like so into another rain garden. See that? Yeah. So we dig this one out too. When this one fills up, it will spill out yet again down this spillway here into a fourth and final rain garden, which I think you can see there. That would be it. The whole idea here is that we're catching water from the roof, putting it in the ground, slowing it down, and sinking it in. So basically these rain gardens here, they're on a bit of a slope, and the slope comes toward us like this and away from us like that. So the slope is kind of like that, okay? So we want the rain gardens to be evenly dug at the bottom so that they catch as much water as possible. So if we dig the rain garden like this, then it's sloping this way and this way. So we got to dig it out in such a way that it's even all across the bottom of the rain garden. So at some points it has to be deeper, in other words. The spillways are going to have to be at some shallow angle, okay, a little bit of a slope in this case. Because we already have a slope, we don't have to really dig in such a way that we create a slope in the ground. The only reasonable thing we could do with that is maybe we wanted the angle to be shallower than what the ground already is, and so we'd have to extend the spillway out in some way and bring it back so that we can create a shallower slope. Sounds like a lot of work. I don't know if we're going to do that, but anyway, it's a possibility. So that's the idea, okay? And we would plant all this out inside of the rain gardens. We would have all kinds of perennial plants plants like oregano and thyme and lavender and basil and things like that, things that grow perennially here. And then on the uphill side of each rain garden, I want to plant blackberries and raspberries and maybe some grapes, because those things like water and they form bushes. They can form a nice like a wind protection from the northern side over there. And we'd also plant trees. In this case, my beautiful mulberry trees would be planted there, as well as figs and something called a strawberry tree, which is native to the area. It grows wild and produces these little fruits that are like a little crusty, and they're red on the outside. The tree looks like a Christmas tree in the winter, and it's beautiful, and it's not an amazing taste, but it's kind of good, and it grows really well here. So maybe, yeah. Okay, yes, that is my harebrained scheme here, and what you've just witnessed is the first kind of the trial run icebreaker to get this ball rolling in my brain. I just had a brilliant idea, give you a bird's eye view of this design. Whoa, okay. I think it'll make a little more sense up here. Hang on now, sweetie pie. Ha, voila! Rain garden, spillway, rain garden, spillway, rain garden, spillway, rain garden. I like the orientation of the second rain garden. This first one, I think I would orient a bit more like that. Kind of just turn it a little bit. And then the third one right there, I think I would just rotate that a little bit like that. Does that make sense? Just a little bit like that. And then that last one, kind of leave the way it is. Maybe make it a little bit bigger, but it's right on the edge there, so that's fine. Cool. I'm thinking about like a mulberry and a fig and kind of putting them like sentinels, one of each on each side of each rain garden. That's what's in my dome piece. Swing low, sweet chair, red. I'm okay. Swing low, sweet chair, yeah, coming down to carry me home. So, check out our garden there. I got all these tomatoes, a lot of herbs. Now, obviously, this is a chicken-oriented channel. That's what this is, but we're also a regenerative agriculture channel and water cycle restoration channel and things like that. They're kind of all mixed in together there. Well, the point I'm trying to make is there, look, they're your complimentary chickens, okay? They're clucking and they're pecking at things and they're doing their chickeny stuff. Are you happy? All right, I feel like I've fulfilled my obligations to the channel name. You got your 5 seconds of chicken. We're moving on. By the way, see all that? Those are wood chips that have been growing for a long time. Chipping stuff here, making a pile. It's just been getting bigger and bigger. And yeah, we're gonna use that for my special project. Look at the grapes, bro. Look at these grapes coming in. Are you seeing? These things are gonna be so scrumptious. Just wanted to come in here for a second and show you something real special. Whoa, look at this. Corn plants growing in great abundance. Do you remember the last video I showed you a little while ago? I was growing tomatoes. Yeah, well, here they are. They're coming along. Look at these babies growing firm and strong and all that. Look at it. They're going to become plump, red as a piglet's rosy skin. They're going to become red as a farm girl's blush on the square dance night. Oh, yeah, check this out, too. Look, it's the summer, so look, the blackberries have come in. Look at that. It's amazing, huh? Blackberries. Wow, blackberries. Okay. Cheers. Oh, pretty good. It's pretty good blackberry. Look for more. Oh, here we go. Are you seeing this? Look at that. That's a fresh blackberry right there. It's delicious. I was right. It's delicious. Yeah, that's what's going on. Soon these grapes are all going to be ready. This fig tree is, like always, producing mad figs. Can't wait to eat those. This garden's hopping. Come on, gate. Come on, Chloe. Come on. Don't whine at me. Some gates. Kind of rebellious. Gonna put them in their place. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There they are. Come on, this is your time to shine. Get camera ready. Who wants to be on camera? Nope. They've all rejected the cameraman. It's a sign. Oh yeah, something else I want to show you real quick, just so that you know what happened. This part I never filmed. Kind of busy, grubby hands, you know what I mean? Didn't have a chance, but basically, these are the compost bins. And the middle one, you can see some fresh fruity stuff and some napkins and things and banana peels that we put in there just recently. But it's super tall like that. It's full of wood chips because this is where I deposited all of the chicken guts. Something like 93 chickens worth of guts right in there. That's right. It's all covered up. That's why I can't smell it. But if it wasn't covered, it would stink. But it's covered, so we're good. We're fine. We're not going to catch salmonella. See these things? They get everywhere. Get in your socks. So annoying. That's just the half of a Mediterranean chicken farmer. No, but in all silliness, this was a cool challenge. Wait, I'm just trying to think of platitudes. And we took action. We're raising humane food in a humane environment. Greta Thunberg will be proud. We must stop the social injustice perpetrated against industrially raised chickens and viva la resistance. And we're trying to raise awareness to bring dignity and to provide a voice for the BBQ community, make sure they're heard and their struggle for incredible fried chicken will be acknowledged. I consider myself a spokesperson for the barbecue community. Yes, we have suffered far too long with low quality meat in this country. Okay, let me just tell you folks, the barbecue community has been greatly oppressed by the great smokestack majority of industrial style farming, which has led to sub-quality barbecue experiences, which has greatly affected our community. Absolutely crushed the spirit of my people, the barbecue queens and kings. The barbecue kingdom is suffering. We are fighting for barbecue social justice. The BBQ community will not be silenced. We will not be oppressed any longer. This is a chicken barbecue humanitarian crisis, man. It's a chicketarian crisis, man. You know, for all you gardeners out there, you just keep doing what you're doing, you know? You just keep putting the wood chips down, man. Just keep putting the wood chips down. Start digging those rain gardens, man. You just do that. You're my homies to the barbecue community. Ain't no barbecue without some good herbs, man. Gotta get those herbs. Gotta get quality herbs. Herbs are the BBQ community's gateway drug to better barbecue. Okay, I'm getting out of here. Bye.